guys, we're going to kick this thing off. So quarterly meeting, who would like to tell us what the quarterly meeting is all about? Those of you guys that have been here for a quarterly meeting before. Why we do a quarterly meeting? Let's remind everybody. What's the purpose? Come on, Mark.
In our goals, see how we're doing, some accountability, and some reflection for the next quarter.
There we go. Perfectly said, man. So we feel like it's important at least once a quarter to take some time out of, hustling and working with clients to really dive into your business, right? And to look at, where we were at, in the previous quarter, where we're at now, and where we're trying to go, right? Not only as a company, but also as individuals. So we're going to be talking about, people specifically. We're going to be talking about stuff that we're doing as a team, right? And the whole goal is to adjust, basically, right? Like we make the analogy, like if you're in the ocean and you're steering a ship and you're trying to get to your destination, well, you're going to go off course at some times, right? And so you constantly have to adjust to make sure that you're still flying on course. And so the best way to hit your goals is to take your goal for the year, chunk it down into quarters, right? And break that into something that's manageable. And then you break that into monthly and weekly activities that you have to do to be on track. And then as you start to reflect and look at those, you can see, okay, am I on pace? Am I off pace? What's working? What's not working? This is my time to, switch things up or tweak or double down on what's working and continue to execute, right? So that we can get to our goal as efficiently as possible, right? And so it's a very, very important meeting. Because these are the things that most agents don't do. Most agents get caught up in just the hustle every day, meet clients, show homes, go on appointments, but they don't take the time to really see where they stand in their business. And then what happens is you're just kind of going by default. You're not going with an intention. And then before you know it, half the year's gone and you're like completely off track of what you said you wanted to do, right? And so that's why we insert these in order to help you guys navigate and move forward effectively. Any questions about what the quarterly meeting's about and why it's important? Pretty simple, right?
We've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over 10 years. Yeah. And we got this from our coaches, right? Our coach, when we were first building our team, probably 15 years ago, maybe or so, right? We were heavily involved in coaching and, team leader coaching and stuff like that. And this was an exercise that they showed us how to do. And we've been doing it ever since. And it's helped us consistently grow and tackle things that we need to tackle at different points of, of the business. Right?
I really like the idea that it really allows you to focus on what's important in your business, right? Because there's so many things you can focus on, but if you really take this time to look at what's going to really move the needle, which we're going to do today, but it allows you to really focus in that area and not get caught up in other things, right? Just look at this that's really going to move your business in the next couple months to where you want it to be at.
Yep, absolutely. So the agenda today, guys, is we're going to look at Q1. We're going to give some shout outs to our producers from Q1, right? The people who've had success in Q1, and we'll maybe get a little bit of feedback from them on what worked. And then we'll do an exercise called Go to the Boards, where you're going to declare kind of what your goals are for this next quarter, what you did in the first quarter. So we have a clear game plan, and we use that, we collect that information so that when we sit down with you and we do one-on-ones, we can help you hit those goals, right? Like if we know that you're trying to close 10 deals this year, then I can sit down with you on one-on-ones and say, okay, where are you at in terms of those 10? Where are those 10 deals going to come from? Let's develop a lead generation plan, right? Let's develop some weekly and monthly metrics that we got to stay on top of so that we can ensure we hit 10 goals or 10 units easily, right? That's just an example. So that's why it's important to collect that information every quarter. And then the final part of it is we'll do what's called the state of the company, where we're going to talk about just where we're at as a team and as a company and the stuff that we're going to focus on at the company level in Q2 to help everybody hit their goals and us hit our team goals, right? And so that will be the agenda for today. So let's kick it off, guys. We plan to go till 1 o'clock. We'll have a break in between for lunch, and we'll try to zip through this as quick as possible. Feel free to ask questions if you have anything. So let's look at Q1, guys. We definitely want to give some shout outs to the agents that performed in Q1, that put some numbers up on the board. And what we look at, guys, with this is going to be our, let's see, sorry, share. Those of you at home, you guys can see this, right? Okay. we are looking at what you'll see here, guys, for the rankings is going to be total GCI, so gross commission income that was generated by that agent. And this is looking at whatever they've closed and whatever they have pending right now in that first quarter, right? And we're going to go through the rankings and just kind of give some shout outs, guys. So in first place, guys, we got Blanca. Let's give it up for her. So in the first quarter, guys, Blanca generated 7 deals in the first quarter, closed them pending for a little bit over or close to 225,000 in gross commission income, which is super, super solid. I don't even know if she knew that those were her numbers, right? Which is awesome, guys. I mean, if you look at that, right, that's quarter one, right? And quarter one is typically like the wrap-up quarter before we hit like Q2 and Q3, which is where we see the peak. But just imagine if she keeps carrying that same trajectory throughout the year, right? Where she's going to end up at the end of the year. So I definitely want to give a shout out to Blanca. And also, I'd like to know, Blanca, like maybe you can speak. What do you think has been some of the keys to your success this first quarter?
It's simple, guys, and basic. Sometimes agents that overdoing it or trying new things. I'm a firm believer just keeping it to the basics, keeping your schedule, keeping consistent, is really going to move that needle forward. Sometimes when you switch it up or you try to do too many things, you don't target your goals or you don't hit your goals. Just keep your routine, master your routine daily, and try that for a good 6 months to a year before you switch it up drastically. And I think if you're just consistent and master your schedule and your routine, it's going to push your business forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep it simple, right?
Simple. Yeah. Keep it very simple, but master it.
Yeah.
Once you've done that, then you can add different things or try different, lead generation portals, but just master that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, guys. I mean, if we look at, if anybody tracks Blanca and what she does, I mean, she's here in the office several days per week, right? Where she doesn't need to be in the office, right? Like she can choose to work from home if she wanted to. But she likes coming in the office because it keeps her focused, right? She's able to come in the office, closes the door. She's in her follow-up box every single day, right? Making calls, right? When I come in, I see her, say hi real quick. I see her behind the thing. She's in her, making her calls, her follow-ups, lining up her appointments and stuff like that. And so the AM is always when you're doing your lead generation, right? Yeah.
Before it's easy to get, deviated, life happens, things happen. And it's okay to, if that happens, just reset. If 1 week you missed, reset the next week. And that's really my strength is my AM.
Yeah.
I feel my AM is my strength. Usually my PM, like today, my afternoon is going to be showings, follow-ups or whatnot, or scheduling appointments or new business, right? Mm-hmm. But my AM is always my PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
And one thing I like to add is that we see Blanca's numbers, right? But she's also a team player. She's always willing to help and assist and get back with the team, right? To me, that it's really important for me to mention that because that's the culture we're creating with PRG, right? Obviously, we want everyone to be a top producing agent, but then we also like the idea for everyone to contribute to help each other out. And Blanca definitely does that. And so I just want to say thank you for Blanca on that. And again, I love that Blanca utilizes the system, right? It's like you're utilizing the Zillow, you're utilizing the team lead, you're utilizing the opportunity, and obviously getting your own SOI.
Yes.
But thank you for always being a team player, contributing to the team and helping everyone out.
Yeah. Blanca, I have a question for you, right? Because I think, someone may see, okay, oh, Blanca's kicking ass. Maybe, everything looks good on the at home or perfect in life and all the things are just working and she doesn't have other obstacles she's facing. But Blanca, how do you stay on track when life is happening and there's other things outside of work that are, getting in the way or stress or, life and stuff like that? How do you stay on track during those times? Because I think that's really one of the keys to your success as well.
I think overall, I'm a positive person. I think that's just my overall personality, demeanor. I love what I do. I love helping families. I love handing the key to a new homeowner in our Bay Area. That's always been my passion, is to be a solution, help them out. Yes, life happens. There's a lot of stuff going on in our personal lives, but I feel that what you choose, the way you choose to address it or see it, is going to dictate your future. If you let that bring you down and, be an obstacle, it'll be an obstacle. If you choose like, hey, I know this is happening, address it, acknowledge it, and move on, you're on the path again, right? And I feel that that's the key. And I'm just overall positive, I think.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's give it up for Blanca, guys, one more time. All right, who do we got? Number 2, let me see. So there's a couple people that are out today, like John and Shri are out, but John came in second place, guys, with 3 units, 121,000 in GCI generated in the first quarter. And I think he has more things in the works right now as well coming in. I think he has a listing that's about to go on, a couple deals that are pending right now. John's been kicking butt, guys, and he's in Disneyland celebrating right now. Right? Yeah. And it's been awesome to see John, guys. I want to just give him his props, right? Just to see his progression with our team, because he came from another state. He relocated from Arizona, right? Some of you guys may or may not know that, but he was a realtor out there for many, many years. He did pretty good out there. He relocated and pretty much had to start his business all over again, right? And he was at another brokerage before, a big name brokerage, right? Before us, and he just wasn't having the success. And when he joined our team, he really just dove into the systems and the processes and the opportunities. And it took him some time to ramp up, right? It took him some time to kind of ramp up. But once he started hitting and that pipeline was built, he's just been hitting consistently. You know what I mean? And so I say that because, if you're still getting ramped up right now, just know that if you stick with it, it'll pop off eventually for you, right? And that was one thing, that I admire about John, is he just stuck with it. And there was times when he was struggling a little bit, and we had, one-on-ones, and he just couldn't catch a break. And I'm like, dude, just keep going. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing. And now look at him. Now he's the confidence. And then the confidence comes also once you start having success. And then that helps you get even more deals and more results, right? And so shout out to John. Jason, you got anything from
John? Yeah, I agree. I mean, John, obviously, he has a background in real estate, but you dropped him into San Jose, Silicon Valley, which is a totally different market than when he was in before. And yeah, he struggled in the beginning, but he definitely utilized the system, utilized the training. Even with his background, he still participated in the training, right? Where it was, yes, he knew real estate, but he needed to understand this market, right? It's a total different type of clientele. And so he definitely embraced himself in doing so. And just seeing him from where he started with us, from me having the first conversation with him when he wanted to join the team, where he was going to come in with the team, where he was like, I'm with this company where I'm not having success. I know real estate, but I don't have an audience. I don't have the opportunity. We're able to give him those tools, the systems, and he ran with it. And he has tremendous traction right now. So I'm excited to see how he continues this.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's give it up for John, guys. Hopefully he hears us clapping right now at Disneyland. I'll send a message to Mickey, let him know. In third place, Patrick. Where's Patrick at today? Patrick, is he online? My boy Patrick, I don't think he can make it today, but Patrick, somebody else that I just want to give a shout out to. My boy Patrick, 5 deals in the first quarter, right? About 120 grand in GCI that he generated. I mean, Patrick is also somebody that is starting to hit his stride tremendously, right? He has, and I think he manages another career too, right?
Yeah, he has another full-time career.
Yeah. And, he's trying to, eventually make the leap to real estate full time. But one thing about Patrick is, what I like about him is that he's constantly calling me for coaching, right? He has a little issue. Hey, I want to run this by you. Hey, what would you do in this situation? He's getting that instant feedback, and he's going and applying it, and then he's having success. You know what I mean? And so, I think he has a lot of the skills and the people skills that it takes. It's just those little fine tuning things that helped, I think, unlock his next level, right?
And same with Patrick. I mean, I think he has a combination. Those 5 units are going to be a combination of, the team process, team leads, and then also himself generating his opportunity.
Yeah. He's generated a few SOI deals in there as well. All right, cool. Coming in fourth place, my boy Shri. Shri's also out of town right now. He's in San Diego on a little vacation. But Shri came in with 3 units the first quarter, about 110,000 in GCI on those 3 deals. I mean, what can you say about Shri, Jason?
Yeah, no, Sri, I mean, he's, it's funny because Sri comes in a little later, but he's always working. He's always willing to help other agents. I was just on a call with him right now.
He just called right before
I was
this.
just on a call with him. We worked through the training. He called me like 2 times. But yeah, no, Sri is someone that he's always trying to make it work, always trying to make it happen, always trying to find a way to, help his client, do the best for his client. And he, unfortunately, Shri's like the nicest guy, and he gets some of the most difficult clients. Poor guy, man. I'm in some transactions with him and helping him out. And he just, he's such a nice guy. He gets some tough transactions, tough clients, but he works through them, and he's, he does an amazing job.
Yeah.
And I know Steve's working with him on a tough client right now. Right? That's what we're talking about. But Shri's only been with us, I don't know, maybe
2 years?
2 years now.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem that long, but he started with not knowing anything about real estate, right? Came to us, I think the first year he closed like 5 deals, right, with us. And
No, I think it was like 6 or 7.
6 or 7.
Yeah.
6 or 7, and then now he's first quarter up to 3. So yeah, he's definitely making some progress.
Yeah. Yeah. Shri's just a hard worker guy, hard worker, nice guy. But super hard worker even behind the scenes. A lot of people don't see all the stuff that Shri is doing. And then I know he also helps his family back in India with another business that they have out there at nighttime. So he's online at night helping them do some stuff. I don't know when he sleeps. I'm like, dude, you can't do that every day. You got to get some sleep. And then he's up early and he's after it. And he's here at all the meetings, all the training, stuff like that. He's just out of town right now.
I've never seen the guy eat before.
Yeah, that's true, huh? When does he eat?
I was asking him to go to lunch. Yeah, so he gets up a little later. I think he fasts and he works in the evening. He's like a sheep.
Yeah. But super nice guy, super humble. Yeah, I'm excited for him. What else do we got? Coming in top 5, guys, we have Asif with 82,000 in GCI, just another machine as well. I don't know when he sleeps either. With Asif, he does manage he has another career, full-time career as well. So for him, he's and a family. He's like wearing 2 different hats. That guy's everywhere. He's traveling. He's speaking on panels for he has, I think, a pretty high position in his day job. Like he speaks in front of, people. But he's also, because he doesn't have a lot of time, he's like quick to act. That's what I love about Asif is his sense of urgency is just like boom, boom, boom. He'll text me, got 5 minutes. Yep, we jump on a call and it's literally just 5 minutes. Hey, what do I do for this? Okay, what else? Okay, gotta go. Bye. Goes and does it. Right?
He's quick.
Yeah, he's quick, right? It's like no fluff, no BS, no story.
Yeah.
Straight to it. What do I gotta do? I gotta go. And he takes action. Yeah, he takes action and he's coachable. And he was one of our top producers, last year, and I'm sure he's going to be, again in the top this year, right? He's already on track. So,
and Enrique, just to mention, I like the idea that Asif will call us, right, guys? I mean, I know he calls Enrique, and he'll call us late at night. But again, it's that even though he may even know the answer, but he just wants just some reassurance.
Yeah.
So I encourage you guys to go ahead and do that. But again, what I love about Asif, there's no fluff. It's straight to the point. This is what I got going on, Jason. How do you see it? How can we fix it? What can we do?
Yeah, love it. So those are our top 5, guys, and I'm gonna just go through some honorable mentions. Mark, you were close right there. I mean, since you're here, man, we want to give you a shout. Let's give it up for Mark, guys. Mark's juggling a lot of stuff as well right now with the new baby on the way, but you're still in here today, right? And you're still getting after it. And Mark, you've consistently shown up on our leaderboard as well. You were a top producer last year on the team as well. What can you tell us just about where you're at in this stage right now, right? It's a little bit of a different dynamic. How are you still managing to have success even with juggling the baby and family and all these different things?
It's kind of just trying to adapt to a new schedule. I would like that number to be triple, but I was kind of looking at my deals that were in Q1, and seeing that there were all three of them, well, the three that I closed on the buy side were all different lead sources. So I want to make sure I continue to tap into that. Like one was a buyer I met at an open house. Then the other one was a Zillow lead. And then the other one was from my college roommate who had an off market foreclosure property, and I found a buyer for it. So continuing to tap into those different types of lead sources, but just being able to juggle my time with, you know, being a dad and dedicating time to being a father and time to being a real estate agent at the same time, and making sure I can continue to produce going forward.
Yep, absolutely, man. I mean, you're doing a great job. You know, it's not easy, you know, to being a dad for the first time, and especially when you got a baby. But you're making it happen, man. You know, you're making it happen. You're figuring it out. Like when we've been, you know, we do our coaching calls, and I'm like, man, it's gonna take some time. You'll figure it out. You'll find a groove. You'll find a schedule that works for you. Just do the best you can with the time that you have. That's kind of, I think, what I've told you. But if you have limited time, okay, well then what can I do with that time that I have, right? If I only have 1 solid hour a day, maybe because I'm juggling other things, then what can I do in that 1 solid hour, right? Who can I follow up with? Am I staying in touch with my database, my deals? And then also looking at the low-hanging fruit. That was something that we talked about as well, right? Like now may not be the time to go try some other lead thing, right? Now may be the time to just double down on what you have already in front of you until you get to a point where you open up more time, right? So I like that Mark is being flexible, right? And he's, you know, adapting to his situation right now, right? His dynamic, but it's working, man. It's coming along, right? So I just want to give it up for Mark one more time, guys. A couple other just honorable mentions, guys. I'll just kind of skim through these. Richa, with the deal that she got right now, 48,000, and it was a big size deal. And GCI, my boy George, coming out the gates with two deals already, right? George is new to our team, but he's already adapting, rocking and rolling, and got, you know, multiple clients in contract. So shout out to him. Dionisio, who's out in like Solano County area, but still got, you know, a deal that he closed. Mai is also is part-time with us, right? Still putting up some deals as well. My boy Luis got on the board as well, right? And I know he got some more stuff in the pipe right now. Good stuff, Luis. Matt, you know, you got a deal working. That's, I think, when you're working with Mark right now. That's going to close pretty soon. Chris as well, with the deal that he has on the board. Nargiza as well with the deal that she has on the board. And I think that's it, guys. Those were our performers for Q1, guys. So let's give it up to all of them. Let's go. All right, how are we doing on time? 11:28. Okay, so we're gonna do this go to the boards exercise next, guys. So I put this document or a link into Slack, and I'm going to just kind of go over it with you before we start filling this out. So we'll have everyone click on this link, and then you guys will go ahead and enter your stuff. So it's a really, really simple exercise, just a few questions. You're going to put your name down on this form. What is your year-to-date production for 2026? How many deals have you closed? Plus pending. Do you have any listings that are active or coming soon? And then, are you satisfied with your year to date, right? Did you hit your goal, right? If you had a goal for Q1, are you on track to hit that goal? If you did, what do you think really helped you stay on track? If you didn't, why, and what personal accountability do you take on maybe why you didn't hit your goal for the first quarter? How many new sales are you committed to in Q2? So I just want to know how many deals you want to get in contract and listing signed. So we're counting those two numbers. So let's say you want to get 2 buyers in contract and sign 2 listings. You'll put 2 and 2, right? And then what's one weekly measurable that you're willing to be held accountable to in order to hit your goal? So when you're answering this question, guys, think of like, what's the one thing that you think is going to drive your production, right? Is it amount of calls you make? Is it showing up to the office? Is it a certain amount of appointments you're trying to hit every single week, right? Those are typically the things that we'll put there. Maybe it's committing to a certain schedule, right? There's different things that you can put on there. But if you had to pick one thing that if we just held you accountable to that one measurable thing, that would keep you on track. The dominoes would fall into place, right? And make sure it's measurable, right? Don't put something like work really hard because that's not really measurable, right? How do we know if you worked hard? But if you're like book 4 appointments a week or make 100 calls, we can measure that, right? Or show up to the office 3 days a week or whatever that might be. So usually when there's a number attached to it, then it's measurable and those can be held accountable. We can hold you accountable to those. And then the last thing, guys, is why are you doing this, right? So this goes into your why. What's the one big thing in your life that will happen for you this year as a result of you staying on track with your production? So, and make it tangible, right? Like, what's the thing you're chasing by the end of this year? If I hit my goal for the year, I close X amount of deals, I make X amount of income. What's the one thing that's going to happen for me if I do that, right? Maybe you got a trip plan that you're trying to pay for. Maybe you want to invest into a property. Maybe you want to pay off some debt, right? Maybe there's something else personally that like, hey, I gotta hit these numbers because it's going to unlock this, right? So this is where we want to know what's the reason and what's the thing you're shooting for at the end of this year that will keep you on track, right? And so that's pretty much it, guys. So we're going to spend a couple minutes writing those down. So just go into Slack and the link should be in there. I just posted it this morning. And then what we'll do is once everyone is done writing, because I can see I have a spreadsheet that these are going to be attached to. Once everyone's done, then we'll do a little bit of sharing and then for this portion of the meeting. Okay, so we'll put a few minutes on the clock right now. I'll put some music on, spend some time, and let's type out our answers in there.
Okay, let me know if it gives you access. Yeah, it should work.
That's best. All right, y'all, we are gonna do a little bit of sharing right now. This is the fun part. All right, guys, quick survey. For those of you guys that wrote your goals down and stuff, were you surprised on your goals? Did that like provide a little bit more clarity? Were some of you guys, did some of you guys actually know how many deals you've closed so far or not? What was your feedback on just the act of just writing it down and really just putting some thought into where you want to go this year? Did it help you at all? Did it make anything more clear?
Visualize.
Right. That's the goal, right? Is we want to have a visual target of where we want to go, right? Is we don't want to just like, yeah, I want to close deals. I want to do real estate. Like, that's great, right? Like just saying that, but we want everybody to have their own specific target, right? And remember, this is your goal, right? It's not our goal, right? We have a goal as a team and what we hope each agent does collectively, right? But the goals are your goals, right? And they should be meaningful to you. And they should be tied to something that is really going to wake you up every day and get you to get after it. And that's the whole point of this exercise. And so we're going to do a little bit of sharing on this. And the reason we share is not to put anybody on the spot or anything, but the reason we share is so that it can help us come together, right? Like if I know Georgia wants to hit a certain amount of deals because she has this thing she's trying to accomplish. Well, if everyone knows what she's after personally for the year, we can rally behind her, right? We can help her out. It helps us connect a little bit more to why Georgia is here and what she's trying to accomplish, right? Because it's going to look different for everybody, right? And so it's important that we do public declaration of what our goals are, because otherwise it just becomes one of those exercises where you wrote some stuff down and like, it can easily just get pushed aside, right? But when everybody knows and you guys can have like those side intimate conversations, like, hey, that was really cool that you shared that. Or, hey, like, now I know why you're here. Now I know why you're working so hard. We can help push each other, right? And that's the power of us sharing our goals out loud, right? And like I said, everybody's goal is different. Some people have certain things they want to accomplish, and it doesn't have to look the same for everybody, right? But we can create a space where we can help each other get there, right? That's the whole point of this. So I'm going to pull up some of these. What I want you to share, guys, is just what's your declaration for how many new sales you're committed to in Q2. What's the one weekly measurable thing that you're trying to do? The one weekly measurable thing that you would like to be held accountable to, and what's the one big thing that'll happen for you as a result of hitting your goal? All right, so let me see if I can freeze this. Okay. We're just going to go around the room. We'll start just this way. So stand up real quick and declare your goal, right? So what's the goal that you're committed to in Q2, right? How many units do you want to get in contract or listing signed? What's the one thing that you want to measure every week that's going to help you stay on track? And what's the one big thing that'll happen for you if you hit your goals this year?
Yes, something. I like the 2-2 example you gave us. I feel like that's a good measurement to go by, getting things lined up. I think what I need to do is definitely just commit my time more, especially into getting calls and practice. I feel like practice is key for me still.
Okay.
I was aiming for like 200 calls first few weeks, but I've been slacking a little bit recently, getting only like 120. So need to step that up again. And then I guess big thing that would happen for me, I can't stop crashing my Subaru, so I'd be grabbing a new car probably.
New car. Okay. So let me just get clear. The first part I was unclear on. So what's the goal for Q2?
Get 2 listings.
2
2
listings
contract.
and 2 in contract. Okay. 2 listings and 2 in contract. And then the one weekly measurable would be what?
Like at least 150 calls to 200.
Okay. Which one?
Let's go for 200.
Okay. 200, right? That's what I'm saying is I want to help him get really clear, right? And so you're being a good example for everybody else, right? I want to help you get really clear, whether it's 100, 200, doesn't matter, right? But I want you to pick a number that you're going to shoot for. And I would pick a number that you think you feel confident you can hit. If 200 is lofty and you know, like, hey, if life happens, I'm probably not going to hit 200. If you can put me down for 100 and that's going to happen, no ifs, ands, or buts, I'd rather you put down 100, right? What's a number you know you'll hit no matter what's going on?
I'll jump back to 150. Then.
150. All right. Right. So
the baseball schedule.
Okay. So 150, right? So 2 deals in contract, 2 listings signed, 150 calls a week. And the big ticket is that if you hit your goals, you're going to get a new car at the end of this year, right? All right. You guys see how that makes it really, really clear, right? Give it up for Tom, guys. So now when you guys see Tom driving a new car, right, you know he's been putting in the work, right? So, but we can't see you driving a new car next week because that means the work hasn't been done yet.
Right, don't worry.
That means
Sure won't happen until like December.
All right, Georgia, stand up for me and just break it down really quick. Your goal, your weekly measurable, and the big thing that's going to happen for you.
Okay, my goal is to have 3 units sold, 1 in contract,
Okay.
1 listing in contract. My measurable will be 1 appointment met per week.
Okay.
And what will happen for me if I get that is I can pay to see my family at Christmas and buy a couple more investment properties.
Let's go. All right, I love it. All right. Hayden, we're coming to you, brother. Break it down for us.
So I'm the same as Tom. I'm gonna do 2 and 2. My measurable is gonna be 100 calls a week. I think I'm slacking on that. Getting too busy doing these Zillow stuff, but man, those are some good leads. And then my final one is that I'm gonna prove it to myself that I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
How will you measure that you can do it?
Get a sale.
Okay. Right. So this is where I want to help them get clear, because proving it to yourself, right? Like that's kind of vague, right? But if you're like, hey, I will prove it to myself because I have X amount in the bank, or I did this, or I closed this many sales. So what would be the measurable thing at the end of the year?
2 closed.
For the quarter, right? Yeah, but we're looking at the end of the year.
Quarter.
What's the big target for the year, right? Like the final question, right? Is what's the one thing that will happen for you this year if you stay on track with your goals?
4 closed transactions.
4 closed transactions, right? So if you close 4 transactions, will you have proven to yourself that you can do this?
Yes.
All right.
Good.
Guys, see how I'm helping them get clear, right? And so it's important that that's clear, right? Because just saying prove to myself, well, you're already proving it to yourself. You're here, bro.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So
We strive to do more.
exactly. So I want you to go a little bit deeper and find something that you can attach to a measurable that will prove it to yourself. Right? You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's give it up for Hayden. All right, V. Let's go, V. Stand up and break it down for us real quick.
Okay, so my goal would be to get 2 buyers and 1 listing.
Okay.
For the quarter. I want to get 2 appointments per week. And if I hit my goal, then I'm gonna go for a vacation with my kids.
Okay. Where are you going?
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. Okay, let's go. Nice and clear, right? All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Tall, break it down for me.
For Q2, I want to close my 4 buyers which are in the pipeline and 1 listing that is about to come to the market soon. We already have a plan, but it just has to come to the market. And what was the next question?
The measurable. How will you measure your progress each week? What's one thing you're going to track?
150 calls a week and at least 10 good conversations, which will help my pipeline grow.
Okay.
And at the end of a year, I want to have 50K in my savings after all the cuts that I give to everyone, EXPP.
All right, 50K in the bank, right? All right, let's go. Let's give it up. All right, Antonio, what's up, bro? It's good to see you, man. Break it down for me. What do you got?
So, like I put in my answer sheet, respectfully, I don't want to give a number because done this before. I feel like if I give a number, it's just talking shit. So, but for me, the measurable is just letting the work speak for itself. Right? Letting the work speak for itself. Let me see. As far as like effort and things I can do is 100 calls a week. If I'm not showing, I'm making calls. If I'm not making calls, doing open houses. If I'm not doing open houses, I'm waiting. Just smart use of time.
Okay. What's the one thing that will happen at the end of the year if you stay on track?
I quit talking shit and can honestly call myself a businessman and just make myself
Okay.
I'm so proud of my family proud and have something to show.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right. All right. Who wants to help Antonio on this one? Who wants to help him? Right? Because remember, everyone's putting up some number, right?
Yeah.
Your number doesn't have to be their number. Your number could be like, I want to just get 1 deal, right? If I just get 1 deal in contract, I think 1 is the minimum, right? 1 deal in contract, that's okay. If I just make 50 calls a week and just stick to that, you got to start somewhere, right? So what I would encourage you is to have some sort of goal, even if it's a small goal, right? It doesn't have to be this big goal that everyone else is doing, right? Because everyone's in a different place. So I would encourage you, I mean, you could sit with it a little bit, right? We can come back to you, but I would encourage you to come up with something, right? Maybe it's just showing up. I don't know what that looks like for you,
Yeah,
right?
and I think Antonio, where you're going with it is that sometimes you don't want to say it because you just feel like you're just saying it, right? So give it a number,
I've said it before.
right? And like you said, you've done this before, and I agree with you. I've seen, we've done this before many times where people just copy their neighbor, right? He said 3, so I'm going to do 3.
Yeah.
Right. So what I really want to make clear, right? And thank you, Antonio, for bringing this up is remember, like Enrique said, guys, we all have our own goal. We have our own things going on in life. So just what I ask when we're doing this exercise, truly own that number, truly own those activities on a weekly basis, right? So that's why when Enrique is talking at times, like, all right, cool, 200, yes, that's awesome, but what's the non-negotiable for you? What number are you going to hit? And he adjusted his number to 150. So when we're doing this exercise, guys, remember, we can always correct what we have here, but really own that number. Say, hey, listen, if you're brand new in this industry, or if you have a full-time job and kids and a wife and all these things going on, your goal might be 1 deal in the next couple months. And that's totally fine, right? So what we're doing is make sure you guys really emphasize.
Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Right. And raise your hand if you ever set a goal and didn't hit your goal, guys. Antonio, you're not alone, bro. Me too, right? Like, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
But what we're trying, yeah,
Yeah.
right. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to create this environment where at least we're shooting for something, right? And it's okay if like you're starting from where you're starting, bro. Like that's nothing wrong with that, right? So think about that, bro, and then we could talk later. All right. All right. Let's give it up for Antonio, guys. Melody, let's go. Talk to us.
So my goal is to have one listing close and 2 purchases closed in the next quarter. My measurable will be contacting 5 listing agents so I can get open houses on the weekends. And then, like Tom, I want to upgrade my car.
Let's go. What kind of car?
A Volvo XC60 Ultimate.
Oh, let's go. Okay, okay. All right.
Oh, I know, massage seats and everything.
Wow, okay. So I think it's important, right? When you're trying to buy something, like put a picture of it somewhere. Like if you guys have sometimes seen my screen, like I have this boat that I want to buy eventually, right? It's like a $300,000 boat. It's like a brand new Centurion, right? It's like top of the line, but it's right there. That's my screensaver, guys, right? So put that car, right, or whatever that might be, vision, right? And what's going to happen is it's going to remind you of this conversation, right? Because I just told you guys to put it up there. So now when you put it up, you're going to hear my voice somewhere, hopefully, right? In a positive way. Hey, you're buying that car, right? That's, do those little things. Make it fun, guys, right? Like all these little things stack and they help us win, right? So I would encourage you guys to make it fun. Put a picture somewhere, right? Mark, break it down for me, bro.
It's funny that you mentioned that I have a Tesla Roadster as my background, but that car doesn't exist yet. My goal for Q2 is to get 4 in contract and 2 new listings signed. My measurable is to have at least a minimum of 5 appointments per week. And then my goal, if achieved, my goal last year was actually to remodel my kitchen. It didn't get done. So it's my goal again this year. I bought solar last year instead. So to remodel the kitchen.
Okay, let's go. Solid. Let's do it. All right, Matt, break it down for me, bro.
Hello, everybody. My name is Matt. I'm a functioning alcoholic. Just kidding. So Q1 goal was 2, 2 sold. Came up a little short, so I bumped up that number to 3 for Q2. And then how I'm gonna get there is 6 appointments a week. I realized I don't need to make 100 calls and get appointments. Just have good quality conversation, and then I put in the survey. The big goal at the end of the year would be to invest in a home, but I think anybody can invest in a home. I think what I'm after is doing this full time without having to go back to a tech job.
Nice. Okay.
So that's where I'm at.
So transition full time. Awesome. So 3 for the quarter, 6 appointments, and fire yourself from your day job.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's go. I love it. Let's get after it. George, break it down, bro.
It's funny because last week I asked ChatGPT what I needed to do to leave my job by the end of the year. And it, excuse me, it actually told me I needed to close 2 transactions per month. So by the end of the year, I can have at least like 150K in the bank. So I put that 2 per month. I recently got back into real estate this year, and I already about to close 2 this week and next week. So I know I can do it. So I do 2 per month. The goal or what I need to set myself to do is I want to have at least 10 conversations per week lasting more than 5 minutes. With these last 2, I know I can close. It's just me having those conversations with people. And at the end of the year, it's the same as Matt, just leaving my full time and focusing on real estate again.
Let's go, man. That's exciting. Brendan, talk to us.
Yeah. So my goal is to close 2 deals this quarter. And then I need to be here from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. because I know if I'm here, I'll get the work done. If I'm not here, I get distracted at home, doing other things, fixing up the house. We bought the house in October. So I'm always like, oh, I need to fix this, or I need to, the lime tree needs trimming or whatever it is, right? And I allow myself to get distracted instead of just doing my real estate business, which I know I can be successful in if I just show up. So if I show up 9 to 11, Monday through Wednesday, I'll be able to set all my appointments and meet my goal.
Okay. Well, what's the measurable at the end of the year? What will happen if you stay on track with your goals?
Yeah, if I stay on track with my goals, I will no longer have student debt and I'll have a new car.
Nice. There we go. Let's go. Let's give it up. All right, Luis, talk to us.
My name is Luis. My goal for this quarter is to close 3, 1 from Zillow, 1 from Sphere, and 1 from cold calling, so listing.
I will get those goals. It's gonna be continuing my cold calling schedule, which is prospecting 4 hours, Monday to Friday. And the ultimate goal is to just be debt free. I got a lot of debt that's been driving me my personal life and my business life. I haven't really been able to invest back into where I really want. And if I can just be debt free, can invest back into myself and my personal life, I just be able to close more deals.
All right. All right. So 3 deals, prospecting. Now you said 4 hours, right? So are we measuring the hours that you're here? Because you could be in here for 4 hours and not do anything, right? Or are we measuring the amount of calls or conversations or appointments?
For me, it's the hours because I'm usually here either 8 or 9. So
Okay.
I prospect from like either 8 to 12 or 9 to 1.
Okay.
Just as long as I'm prospecting those hours. I know sometimes the call volume is going to go up and down.
Yeah.
The contact rates can be hit or miss, but as long as I know I'm making the calls and I'm at least trying to look for new leads,
Okay.
at least I can go.
Okay. So putting in the time on the clock, right? Awesome. And then by the end of the year, you'll be able to pay off some bills and start reinvesting into yourself and other stuff you want to invest in.
Yeah.
Solid, solid. Let's get. Steve, talk to us, bro. Blow us away. You got some big goals, bro.
Well, let's see. My goal for the second quarter is going to be 8 units. So 8 units. I already have 4 that are closing, so I can't just say. And I closed 3 last quarter, so I'm going to double it up. I'm going to go 8, and then I'm going to focus more on my prospecting. I pretty much are going to time block on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. On Tuesday and Wednesday, 3 hours per, and I want 25 contacts, not calls, contacts. So whatever it takes me to have 25 contacts. And then on Friday, I'll be working from probably 10 to 5 all day on prospecting. And that's going to consist of follow-ups with my people, with my agents to get in contact, and follow up with my prospect. So, and what this is going to do for me, put more money into my truck.
How you gonna put more money into that truck, bro? You already got a lot of money into it.
Buy a boat and maybe 1 more rental.
Let's go. All right. Some exciting things. Let's give it up for Steve. Blanca.
I didn't hit my goal last quarter. My goal was 9, so I'm gonna recommit to it. I'm really gonna push myself. I already have some things in the works, so I think it's doable. It's just measuring more my signed contracts per week and really tracking that. What it's gonna allow for us is going to a Europe family vacation. I really want us to do that. When you guys get at my age, what drives you is the family vacations and spending time with family. So that's our hype. Yeah, find something like that. So 9 is my goal. I'm picking 5 buyers, 4 new listings signed for this new order.
What's the measurable each week? How will you know if you're facing?
My measurable is 10 appointments, 5 signed per week. So hopefully I'm able to
10, 5? All right. Let's go. Let's give it up for Blanca. Good goal. Good goal. Jesse, you want to go for it?
Yeah.
Introduce yourself, brother, for some of us that.
I'm Jesse England. I'm out of Santa Cruz. I met these guys through David Gomez. So I came in a couple of times. I did the last quarter's meeting. Yeah.
Let's go. Welcome, brother.
Here I am.
Break it down for us.
I got 6 sales this next quarter with a 1.5 to 2.5 price range. 4 listings, 2 buyers. 4 hours of prospecting a day with 6 appointments a week and 10 new contacts a day added to my database. I'm tracking my results now. Never used to do that before, and I didn't use a CRM. Don't ask me how I did it. The goal this year is to remodel and purchase the 2 commercial buildings that I occupy and go on 2 vacations.
Let's go. Solid. Patrick, I know you got here late. Did you put anything down yet?
I want to sell 6 units this quarter, and also sell the one that Chital have coming up, so that's 7. If I could do 5 this quarter, I could do 6 next quarter. 5 appointments per week. Focus more on Spirit as well. I have a few in the pipe already, and
and then the goal is to pay for landscaping and install.
Let's go. Nice go. All right. Do we have anybody at home that would like to go? We have Richa, Dionisio, Patricia. I know you jumped on. Any of you guys have your goals down?
I do.
Okay, break it down for us.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, goals for me are this year I want to go in listing. I do have one buyer in contract. So total, are we talking about the whole year
No,
or
Richa,
just the quarter?
Yeah, Richa, just what's your goal for the quarter for Q2? How many deals in contract for Q2? And then what's the one thing that you will measure each week to make sure you're on your goal? Just how many deals do you want to get for Q2?
Two for the quarter two deals. And the weekly measuring is 10 calls per day.
Okay, 2 deals in the quarter, 10 calls per day.
And the walking farming for listing, to try to get the listing, is every week I will go once a week for at least 4 hours, walk the farm and deliver the flyers.
Okay, perfect.
Hello?
If you hit these goals, what's one thing you can accomplish by the end of the year if you hit your goals?
Well, the goal is very personal. I have to collect this money to buy my younger sister a home. She is struggling a lot. She has lost her husband very young. She has a young 9-year-old, so struggling to send the child to school. So basically, money goes to her. So it's a big thing for me. I mean, emotionally and
All right. I love it. That's a meaningful goal. Let's give it up for Richa, guys. Dionisio, break it down for us, bro.
Yeah, so for me in Q2, I'm committing to 4 total units. My one weekly measurable would be set 3 appointments per week. And as a result of this, if I stay on track, I would pay some school loans and do some upgrades around the house. Continuous thing around here.
Let's go. Solid. Let's give it up. Patricia, I know you joined the slate. You want to introduce yourself really quick?
Yeah, sure. Hi everyone. I'm Patricia Chavez. I'm a new agent in San Jose. I just got my license about a couple weeks ago, and I'm really invested in your guys' brokerage. I'm really looking to get some really good training and kind of connect with everyone here and see how everyone's experiences have been as a new agent. And I'm really my goal just starting is to really connect with people. So really get myself into making a bunch of calls when I join and that type of stuff.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, welcome, Patricia. I know you're joining as a guest today. Welcome. Let's give it up for Patricia. Okay, good stuff, guys. Just really quick recapping. Who feels like they learned a little bit more about their colleagues today by doing this exercise, right? Who feels like now when they see each other, like now they kind of know what you're going after and why you're going after it, right? And that's the whole point of this exercise, right? Is we have our individual goals. Yeah, at the end of the day, we are independent contractors, right? But the reason you join a team is so that you get involved in the culture that we're creating here, right? Is like you feed off of each other, right? That's how we're going to help push each other when things get tough, when the market's up and down, is we go back to our resources. We go back to our team. We help lift each other up. And when we know more about each other, we can do that more effectively, right? So I just want to give you guys a round of applause just for putting yourself out there, right? And being vulnerable with your goals. And what you'll see, guys, is that a lot of us are similar, but a lot of us are different too, right? Like we got a lot of things that are driving us, but then we have some unique things that make us who we are. So it's awesome to learn more about you guys. And I'm going to be reminding you guys of those goals too, right? Okay. So let's see here. How we doing on, we got till 1 o'clock. We can take a little lunch break right now. Did they come back already with lunch?
Yeah, it's card wagon at least. Oh wait, no, Andrea's not back with lunch yet.
Okay, Andrea was picking it up. She should be back shortly. We're gonna roll into, once she gets back, we'll take a break, but we're gonna roll into the last part of the meeting, guys. It's just kind of going over the state of the company and the things that we're gonna focus on. And then when she gets back, we'll take a quick break. All right, so we always want to look at the numbers, guys, where we're at year to date. One second. Where we're at year to date, guys, and what we got in the pipeline right now going into Q2. It's funny because when I do this exercise, I have this template, and I was looking at where we were at last year at the same time, and our numbers are very, very close. We're actually beating last year for Q1 by just a little bit, by like $1 million worth of production. But in Q2 and Q3, our production went up after that, right? So where we're at right now, guys, year to date, 19 units closed. So basically around 21 million closed. Our average price point is around 1.1 million. The ones that we closed, 8 sellers, 11 buyers. We have a bunch of stuff in the pipe that's closing this month, 15 deals that are pending for about 16 million, 4 sellers, 11 buyers. Active listings, we got 4 listings on the market for 4.4 million. We got, I think, 5 listings coming soon, including the one that Patrick has. I didn't see that one in our system, but I know that wasn't counted here. So 5 listings coming soon for close to 6 million worth of volume. And so if we add everything up that we got in the pipeline right now, our year-to-date total pipeline is 42 units for about 46 million in the first quarter, right? So that's counting closed, pending, stuff that's on the market, stuff that's about to hit the market. Which helps us project, for the rest of the year. So not too bad, guys. And we'll go over some stuff right now that I want to focus on. Buy versus sell. I always like to look at how much of our business is buyers versus sellers. We're about 65% buyers right now, about 35% sellers, right? Out of all the deals that we have in our pipe. And so our seller business has actually increased a little bit, because before we were like 80-20, then we were like 75-25. And now we're like 65-35. So we've definitely gotten a lot more listings recently, which is a good thing for us, because the listings produce other business, right? They produce other buyers, they produce other listings, and we're going to strategically, try to bump up our listing pipeline. I always like looking at the numbers of where we've been, and you can see, like in 2017, when we first started tracking this stuff, we were at 34 million we closed for the year. Our team was very, very small. It was like 4 of us, right? Back in 2017, it scaled up to our peak right after COVID of like 206 million. And then the market kind of went down a little bit, 119, 97 million. Now it's kind of coming back up 107. And so I definitely want to beat what we did last year. I'll go over some goals that we have in a minute. But I definitely think we can hit the 150 plus mark this year. I wanted to get back to 200. That's going to be a little bit of a stretch. So I think that'll be our stretch goal. But I think with where we're at and where we're tracking, I think we can definitely break 150 million this year in production, right? Which would be awesome. We also track our reviews. Those are things that we want to consistently bring up, because that helps us drive more business, helps us create more credibility when we're out there on appointments, helps us convert overall. So our total reviews right now on Zillow are 576. Our total reviews on Google are 208. I'd love to see us hit by the end of the year, break 600 reviews on Zillow, which is definitely doable, and break 250 on Google. Like, we could probably do that in the next quarter, honestly. But, and so if you look at where we're at for total reviews, 500 plus 200, that's 700. We're over 780 5-star reviews, right? I like that number, right? Because when you're out there talking to people and it's like, well, what makes you different than another company? It's like, hey, our team has close to 800 5-star reviews online, right? These are people that we've helped, people that trust us, that have gone online to give us a review and tell us, how great we are. Yeah, testimonials and stuff like that. So I want you guys to know those numbers off the top of your head, right? You can say we have close to 800 5-star reviews. Use those numbers in your dialogue, right? Because that also helps give you credibility and it helps elevate you. But even if you're newer, right? Let's say you haven't closed a lot of deals, but you're like, hey, I'm part of this team that's done all this great work. Leverage that, right? That's going to help you win when you're out there talking to buyers and sellers. Any questions, guys, on the pipeline, where we're at so far? Anything like that? All right. Where's our business coming from? I love looking at this slide because it just further ingrains like what's working, what's not working, and where we should double down our efforts on. And so if you look at where our business is coming from, let's see. Out of the deals that we have in the pipe right now, from agent generated, we have 13 closed and pending, 2 active and coming soon, a total of 15 transactions that came from agent generated activities, like your referrals in your database. Zillow, 16 closed and pending, 5 active and coming soon. So we have a total of 21 transactions that came from Zillow so far. We have ISA cash offer. That was a campaign that we did. We have 1 deal that we're working on right now. From our website, we got people that just organically came to our website and requested info. We got 1 deal right now that we've closed. From open houses, 2 deals that have closed so far for the quarter. From Ylopo, we've gotten a deal that's on the board. And then from Zillow Lending, which was an old lead source we have, a lead that we nurture, we got 1 deal from that. And so what I look at is agent generated would be any referrals or database, any open houses you guys go do, I consider those agent generated. And then team generated would be just the stuff that the team provides for you guys. So like the Zillows, our website, Ylopo, ISA, stuff like that, right? And so this is an important stat to look at, right? Is where is our business coming from? So far for the year, 40% of our deals came from agent generated stuff you guys went out and got on your own from either open houses or talking to your friends, family, database, past clients and stuff like that. 60% of our deals came from team generated stuff, right? You got a lead from the team, from Zillow, from our ISAs, from a pond, anything like that. 60% of our business has come from that. 50% of the total deals came from Zillow, right? And so what does this mean for your business? This is important right here. Who thinks these stats are good and who thinks they're bad and why?
I think they're good. And one question I would ask is, let's take away Zillow. How are we generating business?
Exactly. Right. You're asking the right question. Right. I honestly don't like these stats right now because I don't like Zillow to be this big of a stat for us. Right. Yes, we push Zillow. Yes, we're going to close them. Yes, we're going to get those easy wins with Zillow. But it's what we do with those Zillow leads afterwards and what we're doing on our own to generate business that's important. Because if all of a sudden Zillow said, hey, guys, we're changing the whole program, which we've seen them change, right? They've changed it a lot, right? Or, hey, guess what? Zillow got sued by so-and-so and now they're freezing all leads or what? I don't know, right? You never know. But I don't like putting all our eggs in one basket. This is actually high for us right now because I think last year we were like maybe 40%. 38 to 40% of our deals from Zillow. It is still the first quarter, right? So we're only measuring 1 quarter. That's the other thing to take into account. These numbers will average out a little different by the end of the year. But for the first quarter, what this tells me is that we're relying a lot on Zillow and we're not doing enough activities to go get business on our own. That's what this is telling me. We typically want to be at least 50% or more of our business coming from agent generated activities. And typically our numbers have been swapped. Like last year, I think we were like 60-40 the other way, right? 60% of our business came from agent generated, 40% came from team generated. And why do you guys think this is a problem right here? We're not doing enough.
Well, I'm thinking about the EXP, the meeting you share on Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about, there's some successful agents in there. And they were saying how they don't do a lot of prospecting. They just run a lot of events to stay top of mind. And they don't have to explain to you who they are, what they do.
Yeah.
You're just familiar with who they are based on the events that they throw.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that'd be something I would like to learn more about and just master, right?
Yeah.
Because events are fun, right? Yeah. You guys are good at doing events. And it gets people out and networking.
Yep, absolutely. Steve.
How many people use social media to do first time home buyer, classes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seminars.
Because I tell you right now, that's one of the biggest things that, people are doing to get leads.
Yeah.
Is they're using their social media and doing a first time home buyer event on there and just once a week promoting something or every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, whether you have one person show up or 10 person show up,
Mhm.
you know, that's where you're gonna really start to see a build in your client base.
Yeah.
Social media call.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, it's big.
Who else has some thoughts? Talk.
I think Asif is having it tomorrow, right? Yeah. On webinar.
Yeah. Let's see if it's doing something. Yeah, some sort of webinar or something. All right. But I think the problem we run into, guys, is just not even Zillow. Just take away Zillow, right? It's just 60% of the deals coming from team generated leads. What we know is that on a team generated lead, there's a cost to those leads, right? So you're getting paid a lower split. And so maybe for the company, that's great. Like, hey, just keep closing our leads, right? And like that helps our profit margins, but that doesn't help you, right? And if you're not winning and you're not profiting big, then this business is not going to work for you, right? And so remember, like this business doesn't work or this company doesn't work if our agents aren't winning, right? And so that's why it's important for you guys to do things that are going to generate more deals on your own and pay you bigger commissions, right? I'm not saying don't take the team leads. You still want to leverage those, but you want to leverage those strategically, right? Blanca's a great example of leveraging our team leads. We talk about it all the time, where she'll take team leads when she needs them, and then she'll do a really good job and she'll generate a bunch of referrals. So she's using the team leads well. But if you're only using team leads and you're not doing anything on your own, you're not working open houses, you're not posting on social media, you're not calling your friends and family, there's going to be a certain point where you come to us about your splits. And then I'm going to say, well, what have you been doing to generate business on your own? Right? I've had that conversation with agents who are no longer with us, right? Is that they didn't do anything to generate business on their own. They're not making the money that they want. And then they either quit the business or they go somewhere else to try something else and it doesn't work still, right?
Yeah, what I look at is that like any team lead, like we're sales agents, period, right? That's the first thing you have to recognize. Any team leads, I mean, we've been doing this for a long time. We didn't get team leads when we started off in this industry 20 years ago. We had to be sales agents and get our own opportunities. When I look at the team leads, it's an opportunity for us to get reps, to get practice, to get that. We don't lose that muscle memory because you have all this opportunity in front of you. But that doesn't mean that you have to rely on the team leads.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's great if you run them parallel, right? You have the team leads to go ahead and keep you sharp, keep business and keep those conversations fresh. But then you also build out that other pillar, which we focus a lot on social media. We're focusing a lot on open houses. Now, if you want to do an event, if you want to do something like that, anything like that, even when you do events, Matt, you still got to pick up the phone and call this list back. When you do the open house, you still got to pick up the phone and call that list. So that's why all these things come into play where you're getting all these opportunities, but you have to make sure you're building it simultaneously because like Enrique said, we are going to get, agents like, well, I don't want to have to pay Zillow. Well, hey, don't pay Zillow. Go out, do an open house, go door knocking, right? Host an event, right? No one has to take Zillow, guys, right? No one has to take the team leads. It's more, this is so that we can get you more opportunity. We can get you an audience so that you can practice your skill and you're really good at it. So then when you do have your family friend or your open house, you're very sharp at it.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, I had to get my charger. But yeah, absolutely, guys. So this is something that we are going to focus on, right? Is just really driving agent-generated activities. We need to get to a point where we're not only relying on Zillow. And now, this is the team as a whole, right? But there's some of you guys individually that are playing this the right way. Like Mark talked about, right? He's like, what I liked is that I got 3 deals, and they were all different lead sources. One of them was from Zillow. One of them's from an open house. One of them was from an SOI. He's following the plan. That's a solid plan right there, right? And at the end of the year, his net income will show that he followed the plan, right? And so just keep that in mind, guys, is you got to do stuff on your own. You can't only rely on
And
Zillow.
even looking at this, where we have, 50% or 21 of the deals came, or the deals that came from Zillow, like, look, Enrique?
Yeah.
That number? But when you look at that, in our next segment, we're gonna go into how we can even get better at Zillow.
Yeah.
Right? So again, we're not saying we're not gonna continue to play the game with Zillow. We're just saying you as a sales agent, you should go ahead and have, diversify and have, at least 2 to 3 different pillars so that you have that opportunity.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, 21 deals from Zillow, which is huge, guys. And we have tons of room for improvement. Me and Enrique looked at it yesterday.
Yeah. Okay, Alliance. You want to go over the deals for
So
Alliance?
for us, we have 11 units closed for a little under 10 million. We currently have about 7 deals pending for about 5.5 million. Our average loan amount is 890,000. We have Steve, myself, and David doing the majority of the production. We have Lisa that does help us out a little bit, guys. Like Steve said, Steve, gaining some traction right now. He closed 3 deals this first quarter. He has 4 in the pending right now. I was able to close 4 deals this quarter. I have 2 in the pipeline. Lisa, I know you guys don't see Lisa too often, but she does help us out. She closed 2. David's getting up and running. David closed 2 and has 1 pending. The leads, the sources that the leads are coming from, we have 7 that came directly from from the actual loan officers themselves. We have 1 that came from Zillow Flex, and then 3 came from the real estate agents. You can see our deals are more if you look at our stats on the lending side, ours are more self-generated. We have 64% of them are actually coming directly from the actual loan office.
Yeah.
I think, again, for our team right now, obviously we're pushing Zillow lending, ZHL. So again, our loan officers, myself, David, and Steve, are going to really have to show you guys the value, right? And show you guys how we can support you, because now we have an in-house lender that you guys can take your SOI, your other business. So that's something that I'm working with our team, is how can we provide more opportunity for our real estate agents. So we actually have 2 inside sales agents that are getting leads, that are setting appointments for Steve and David and myself, where once we get them pre-approved, we're going to be handing them out to you guys. So that's something that we're focusing on the lending side in Q2, right? We've ramped it up. We've set some appointments. And so some of us have sent you, or some of our loan officers have sent out some of those appointments already, but you're going to see more appointments coming from your in-house loan officers in Q2.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Any questions, guys, on where the business is coming from? Okay.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Once again, with Alliance, I keep in mind, once you do have a pre-approval, you actually have a pipeline. You have actually access to that client as well, where you can even adjust the pre-approved letter. Not that if you don't want to, but what if we're not available, you don't have to wait on us. So these are some of the key things that we provide from Alliance that gives you a little bit more access. What we should do is I'll get with Jason and do a training with you guys so you guys can see how that works. And it's super easy. Blanca's used it. She uses it very efficiently. And I'm telling you, once you see how that works, it's going to be able to structure your pre-approvals and know how to attack them.
Like that. Yeah, that's a good point, man, because we get these clients pre-approved and then sometimes they just we forget about them, right? We're chasing the next lead, but we got to take them to the finish line, right? Okay. We're going to try to just go through the rest of this, guys. There's only like a little bit more info. This way we can just end and then we'll have lunch. Lunch is ready. You guys okay with that? Maybe like 10 more minutes? Okay. Okay. Our contracts for PRG and Alliance. Let's see. I'll go over that after. Yeah, let me share my screen again. Okay, so the focus, guys, for Q2, what are we focusing on? I want to make an analogy, guys. I was talking to Jason about this, right? Is what we're looking at, and we're even getting this from some Zillow, right? Zillow is changing the whole game of how they're giving out leads, right? It's all based off of performance now, right? Which is the way it's kind of always been, except now they're enforcing it even more. And so we want to take that same, theme from Zillow, and we need to implement that all across the board into our business. Because what we know is that when we're like running a loose kind of ship, a lot of stuff slips through the cracks, right? And if we want people to perform, we need to really dial in what our weekly activities are, what our goals are, who are the players that are taking leads and opportunities, because we're generating a lot of them, guys. I was looking at the numbers from the beginning of the year till now. Between our ISAs have generated over 500 appointments, right? And I think our agents generated over 1,200 appointments. So we've generated over 1,700 appointments from January till yesterday, right? Between the ISAs and between the agents. And so the amount of deals that we have versus the amount of appointments does not match up, right? And so what that tells us is either we're not following up, right? Or we're not having the right talk tracks on the appointments, or the appointments are booking and they're canceling and we're not following up after to try to reschedule them. Or when we're going on that appointment, we're not doing the right things to move these people forward, right? And so we don't have a lead problem, guys. We have a performance and like follow through problem right now, right? Because if we're generating that many appointments, 1,700 appointments, right, from January till now, even if we're converting like 10% of those, right, that should be 170 deals in the pipe between active, pending, sold. We have 45, right? So it's definitely underperformance, right? And so what do we do as leadership to help get people to perform is we got to start raising the standard, right? And I make this analogy, like I've been coaching my son's baseball team, and I have some kids on the team who don't show up to practice, right? We're practicing twice a week. They're consistently missing practice, but on the day of the game, they want to start and they want to be like in a starting position. They want to pitch or they want to be the starting shortstop. What would the coach say to that kid, guys? Why not? You didn't show up, right? You didn't show up to practice. I don't know, right? Or there's kids that like we put them in a position and they consistently miss the play or they consistently make an error, right? And then they're also not showing up to practice, right? But they're also taking up spots, right? In the field. And so as a coach, we got to say like, hey, like this kid, like we can't put him in. He's going to have to sit the bench or he's going to have to show up to practice and show us that he wants it, right? And I look at the same analogy like with our opportunities with Zillow Flex, with the ISA appointments that we're setting, all these incoming leads that we have coming in that we're giving out to the team. If you're not showing up to trainings consistently, you're not here at the team meetings, you have no clue what we're doing, right? Should that person be rewarded with more opportunity? Yes or no? No, right? Or if the person is getting a bunch of opportunity and they're just not performing, they're not converting, should that person keep getting more opportunity? Say it loud, yes or no? Okay. Right? That wouldn't be fair to the team, right? Because like, let's say if Tom, like if I give Tom a bunch of leads and he's converting, this is just an example, but I give some to Hayden and he's not converting, I'd rather give more leads to Tom, right? It's the same thing Zillow's doing, guys, right? They're looking at, okay, we only got so many leads. We're dispersing these leads. We're only going to give more leads to the players who are performing, right? And so I think it's a very fair system because it doesn't discriminate anybody, right? There's no favoritism in that scenario.
Yeah, and so the one thing that I want to add to that is that, but we're also here to help coach you guys up.
Yeah.
Right. But again, you got to meet halfway, right? You got to show up. You got to be coachable. Right. The same thing in his analogies.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure it's not like we're not taking I guess we are taking stuff away, but I also want to make sure you understand that the support is there. It's like, hey, listen, I want to get better. I set these appointments. That's where I think we can definitely support you.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where it's just making it clear that opportunities from the team got to be earned, right? That's what it is, right? And the only way we know if you're earning that is if you're converting and if you're doing the things that you got to do to get you on the path to conversion, right? And so there's only two things that drive production. It's going to be activity and skill, right? So if you're making the calls, you're putting in the reps and you're showing up to training and you're getting good, but maybe you haven't converted yet, at least I can see you're doing the work and I could work with you and try to give you some opportunity. It's just a matter of time, right? But if you're not doing any of that and you're not converting, well, there's an issue right there, right? So those are the things that we just want to kind of set that theme. And it falls back on us, guys, to be honest, right? It falls back on us for kind of running it a little bit loose. But I know that every time we've tightened things up, what it does is it kind of smokes people out, right? The people who want to do this step up, and the people who are like, maybe this isn't for me, they kind of like raise their hand or opt out or whatever. And unfortunately, that's, it's part of the game, but that's a good thing for us, right? Like we want more producers on the team, right? We want everybody to rise up to a level of production. So we're going to start doing this in a way where we help people produce, and we do kind of a bottom up approach, right? The agents who are already producing, well, we're going to keep giving them opportunity. The agents who are not producing yet and need help, we're going to start pushing more accountability to those agents to really step up so that they can get to that next level of production, right? And that creates like an even playing field. So I'm going to kind of show you some ideas, guys, of what we're going to focus on. And I think this is going to be what makes the difference for our production guys in Q2 and Q3 and so on. And the other thing too, what I want to just remind people of is none of this is like, nothing we do is personal, right? It's all like, we're here to close deals and make money, right? Like this is not a charity, right? You guys are all here. You guys just went over your goals. You guys told me some good goals. You guys are buying cars. You guys are buying boats, remodeling kitchens. You're paying off debt. Like you're doing all these things. So we have a responsibility to do the things we got to do to make sure you're closing deals and making money, right? And so that's where we want to help you win, right? So, okay, a couple of things that we're going to focus on in the Q2. So our Q2 targets, right? April through June, we need to do everything possible, and we're going to really go in on this goal to get 60 to 75 deals under contract in the next quarter, right? That equates to about 20 to 25 deals per month. With the amount of people we have, right? We looked at our roster. There's about 36 people on our roster, and out of the 36, there's only about 17 or 18 who did some sort of production in the first quarter. I would say we have about 20 people on our team that are like full-time, getting after it out of the 36. We got some new agents. We have some agents who, they're up and down, stuff like that. But we got probably a solid team of like close to 20 that are the ones getting after it. And so it's really going to be driven by the 20 full-time agents that we have. That equates to like each agent getting one deal a month, right? The full-timers. Right. And if you're part-time, like we're not even really counting that. That to me, that's just extra. But 60 to 75 deals under contract spread over 20 agents in the next 3 months. Do you guys think that's doable? Right? Really doable. I mean, based off the numbers you guys just told me you guys want, like it's already past that, right? 20 to 30 listings signed, right? We really want to continue to focus on listings. That's getting 6 to 10 listings signed a month for the whole team, right? Is that doable, guys? All right. 60 plus closings, right? Because we'll get these under contract. Some of them will close in the quarter. Some of them will roll over. But closing 60 plus deals in the next quarter is absolutely doable. And that will put us on track to hit our goal of like 150 million plus for the year. Expectations, right? If you're a full-time agent, like this is your full-time gig, that doesn't mean you don't have another job, right? Because you can have another job and still be full-time committed to. It's not like a 40-hour thing. It's just like, am I fully invested in growing my real estate business, right? 3 to 5 deals under contract in Q2 is what we would want to see each agent hit at a minimum, right? So I heard someone say, Blanca said like 10, right? Right, some of you guys are shooting for more than this, right? But who thinks 3 to 5 deals, if you're a full-time agent under contract in the next 3 months, is doable? Right? It's not out of the question, right? Working all 3 pillars, right? Once again, if we want to get that agent generated number up, we need to make sure we're working all 3 pillars. We're not only working the team leads, right? So you got to be contacting your SOI. Yes, you should still take Zillow and team leads, but you also got to be working open houses and getting your name out there and meeting new people, right? And hitting your weekly activity standards. So all of you guys gave like a measurable. That's your weekly standard, right? And so those are things that we can hold you accountable to at our sales meeting. Hey, you said you wanted 4 appointments. Did you hit your 4 appointments? Hey, you said 100 calls. Did you hit your 100 calls, right? So the great thing is that you just gave us all the information that we can hold you. See how we kind of tricked you guys there, right? I'm just playing. But that's the reason we do that, right? Is because I don't want this to be my standard. I want this to be your standard, right? And that's why it's an individual thing. But I know if everybody just does their part and sticks to what they said they're going to do, these numbers will hit those, no problem, right? That's the great thing is I want to prove to you guys that this is all doable. Now, if you're part-time, right, or you're like brand new, you just got licensed, you're barely getting up and running, 1 to 2 deals in the quarter, or at least consistently building your pipeline. You're consistently getting a couple appointments every single week because that's going to get you there, right? I don't expect if you're brand new, all of a sudden you're closing a bunch of deals, but you should be putting in some activities to start building that pipeline over the next quarter, right? So you're focusing on building pipeline and you're focusing on consistency, right? With the time that you do have. Okay. Any questions so far, guys?
What about any questions, any feedback? I mean, again, like when we're looking at these numbers, I mean, Enrique probably will do a tally of what you guys committed to. I know it exceeds this. And just by looking at this, if we can each just do one deal per month, we're gonna hit that.
Yeah.
Right. B.
I have a question. To be able to hit that goal, obviously you need to have the leads, and which definitely comes from those 3 pillars: UI, Zillow team, leads, and houses. And I know that we get a lot of opportunities for the open houses. Thank you so much, Blanca and other, especially Blanca and other, agents who have listings. And they give us the opportunity. But in terms of Zillow, like you're saying that they're specifically going after agents who are turning those leads into, buyers or sellers. And because right now I've just signed up and I was expecting that, I'll be starting to get calls like, from day one, and I'll be just, picking up those calls, but I haven't gotten any calls. So what do we do in those situations? How do we increase those lead generations, or how do I increase that call volume for myself?
So we're going to show you that in a minute. We're going to pull up the Zillow metrics and we're going to dive into that and show you. That's a great question, right? So her question is, if I'm just starting on Zillow and Zillow is now only dispersing to performers, how do I, get in that ranking so that I can get more opportunities? So I'm going to show you that. That's a really good question. Okay. So a couple things. I'll get to that in a minute. All right. Let me just finish this part and then we're going to, that's part of what I'm going to talk about. So in Q2, right, raising the standard. So tracking these numbers weekly, like we used to do this in the past where we would have people declare their numbers at the team meetings or pull up the scoreboard. And we've gotten away from that, right? And so I think by having people declare what they did this past week, right, just kind of like we did today, we'll probably either create a spreadsheet or we'll have something that you guys enter. It's going to help people hold people accountable to what they said they were going to do, right? So it could be like, what was your 1 weekly measurable and how did you do, right? I wanted to make 100 calls or 150, right? How many did you do? Because when we bring these goals up every single week, it reminds you like, hey, I got to stay on top of the goals, right? And people don't like being the guy that raises their hand saying they did 0, right, that week. And so what we do is we create this environment where we're all performing, right? And so that's what we're going to start rolling out, is just more declaration, more open transparency around who's producing and who's not. And naturally, people will rise when they see other people producing, right? Because nobody likes to be the one at the bottom, right? Raise your hand if you want to be last place. Great. Nobody raised their hand. So we're in the right room, right? It was a trick question, right? And so your performance is also going to equal access to team leads, right? Because that's what we can control. I can't control if you go out there and do an open house. I can't make you. I can't make you post on social media. I can't make you even call your database. I can encourage you, but I can at least what we can is we can say if you're getting more leads or not, right? We can pause you and unpause you. We can put you in the rotation for ISA appointments, or when we do have a warm handoff, we can choose who we want to give those things to, right? So our currency as the team leader is really all the inbound opportunity that we have, right? And so what we're going to look at is the people who are performing, those are the ones that we're just going to give more opportunity to, and the ones that aren't performing, those are the ones that are either going to be paused or coached up and stuff like that until they can get back on track. Because that's the part that we can control, right? We're focusing more on conversion, right? Going back to tracking our appointments, our signed and our close ratios, better follow-up, stronger consults, and then more training around this, because we realize that, yes, there are a lot of appointments being done, but is everyone up to the standard of what they're saying on the appointment, right? We used to do this in the past where we make people do the buyer presentation or listing presentation in front of everyone, right? We would do workshops like that, and people got better because of that, right? And so we're going to go back to more like, hey, you say you could do a buyer presentation, show us, right? And what's going to happen is people will learn and they'll level up. We'll get feedback and stuff like that, and it'll just help people, make people better converters. So we're going to make it fun also, guys, right? I want to make sure you guys understand that. Agent generated business, right? So our target is we need to get back to more than 50% of our business coming from agent generated activities. It's at 40%. We're not too far off, right? It's a 10% swing. And so making sure people are contacting their SOI and consistently working open houses. The way we can measure that is we can track that at our weekly meetings. If you have to fill out a survey each week, how many open houses did you work? How many of your database did you call? Did you hit your weekly measurable? Those are things that we can survey, and we can create that environment of accountability. It's really easy. So tracking and measuring that. With Zillow, right? We already know Zillow is doing this on their own. Top performers get more leads. Low performers are getting reduced. So let's take a look at the stats. So something that I wanted to bring up with you guys today was Zillow now allows us, they've really built out follow-up boss on our end to where we can look at reporting really easily. Let me share this tab. And I'm just going to give you guys a little snapshot, and we're going to use this more in our meetings every single week to just show people where they're at. And so we can look at, I'll make this a little bigger right now. We can look at who's performing and who's not, right? And I'll give you an example. Which one was it, Jay? Was it the team?
It's going to be
the agent, right? Sorry, guys, let me pull this up. Okay, so what we can look at is we can look at the last 90 days and we can see how many connections you got. Why is this not showing the other one with is it details report? There's a bunch of red on the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got you. They have different tabs, guys. Enrique and I are both learning.
So we had a long meeting with our Zillow rep yesterday, and he was showing us how to work this. So we're still a little new to this.
No, you guys won't have access.
It won't, but every week we're gonna put this out, right? So we're gonna. Oh, I think we got to just change the report.
Yeah. Go to agent and then go.
Oh, right here, buyer connections. Here we go. This is what we do. Okay, so check this out, guys. What color stands out to you the most? Red, lots of red, right? And so what we can look at is the last 3 months, how many buyer connections somebody got, and we can filter them in order. So like buyer connections, which is this tab right here, this number. So we can see, okay, like John got 23, and this is not to call anybody out, right? We're starting from a base point. So I want you guys to realize that, right? Our goal is to improve this, right? And so we can see like John got 23 connections in the last 3 months, right? His appointment rate was 65%. Another big thing why you see so much red, guys, is people are not updating their statuses. Because
raise your hand if you don't update your status.
Right? You guys are meeting with clients or you're showing homes, but it still says appointment set, or it still says lead, right? Or it says nurture and you're writing an offer, and it should be writing offers, right? And so what happens, guys, if you don't update the status, the only number that we can go off of is what? If I don't know the story, then what's the bottom line that I got to look at? is your conversion. How many you got in contract?
I wanted to explain that really quick. Let me
Right.
explain that really quick, guys. If you're not, because Enrique mentioned that it's gonna be the activity or the result, right, earlier. So if this right here can show your activity, right? Like I'm moving everything along down the pipeline. If everything is in the green, right? Now the conversion might not be there, right? But then all these other stages are in the green. Now, what Enrique is saying, if no one is updating the stages, updating this, then the only thing that Enrique and I and Zillow can look at is the conversion.
Yeah.
Right, which doesn't tell the true story. So that's why it's going to take two parts. One is obviously what's going to drive everything is going to be conversion, but you guys need to get credit for your work. Meaning when you meet with the client, when you set that appointment, when you're showing homes, when you're writing the offer, you need to go ahead and update. And I know you guys all been pinged from me before, right? But this is something, even when we meet our Zillow rep, he's like, look, looks like these guys are not even taking this serious. They're not updating the stages.
Yeah.
Because you should immediately pause these people.
He's telling us like, hey, you should immediately pause. This guy, do not give them more leads. That's what he's just straight up. That's what I like about AJ, our rep. He's just like, no fluff. He's like, dude, pause that guy. Like, don't give him any more leads. Like, look at how many leads he took up from your allocation and look at like nothing is moving through the stages. He goes, and then look at his conversions. Conversion 0. Right. And so the story, right, is going to tell us if you're moving people along. So I'm highlighting John, right? John's kicking ass, right? But John's story is not showing that he's kicking ass, right? Because he's not updating his stages as well, right? So if you look at John, he got 23 connections, right, in the last 3 months, but it's showing his appointment rate is only 65%, which I know he's meeting with more people than that. He's just not updating them. His ALM rate, when he's on the phone, right, they record the calls, is 100%. He had 10 meetings. He met with 43%. That's in the gray. He showings 5, show rate 22%, offer rate 2, offer rate 9%, pending or closed 2 of them. Activity, pending, and closed 5 of them, right? So his conversion is there. He got 23 leads, and pending or closed, he got 2 of them pending or closed out of those 23.
Like 10%.
And then total, like cumulative, he's gotten 5. So on his conversion, he's doing really well. He's actually leading our team on Zillow. John is. But his story isn't telling us what he's doing, right? The story doesn't add up to his numbers. He has the opposite problem. He's doing really well, but he's not tracking his stuff, right? But let's say his numbers dropped and then he wasn't tracking his stuff. There's no way for me to fight for John getting more leads until he fixes that, right? And so when we look at other ones, right, we can go down the line and kind of see who's gotten a lot of leads, but who hasn't converted, right? Asif was in our leaderboard for Q1. He's gotten 23 connections in the same amount of time as John, but he doesn't have any that are pending or closed from those 23, right?
And Zillow is looking for, what they're looking for is a 5%, right? So if you get 20 leads, they're looking for a 5% conversion, which would be 1 deal out of 20.
And so those are the ones that we're going to look at, right? You can see like where you appear on this line and you can see your conversion over here, like pending or closed.
And what I look at, guys, is that, you know, we've had success in the last few months with Zillow. So this right here shows that we can even have more success by just fine tuning certain things, because then it also allows us to know where we need to focus on in regards to the training and the coaching.
Yeah.
Right? If we're updating the stats here.
Yeah. Like right now, leading us on Zillow is John, Shri, Josh doesn't count, Patrick, Matt, Blanca, Rob, Luis, but then you can see it starts dropping down. It's like 1s and 0s right here. And so what we got to look at, guys, I don't want to go too much into the weeds on this today, right? But what I want to show you is that we now have all this information available. Before they were making it like a bunch of different spreadsheets we had to pull up. Now it's all in FUB, right? So the good thing is that now at our meetings, number one, we're going to give everybody a clean slate from today and say, okay, guys, over the next week, you need to go into all your leads and update the stages. Because then next week, when I refresh this, all these reds are going to go away because the stages will be tracked accurately.
And return the leads you don't want,
Yeah.
guys.
And so they need to be updated with stages so that now we have a clean slate And now going forward, we can really measure who's performing or not. And so I don't mind if you're not performing, if everything else is moving, performing by what I mean is getting them in contract, if everything is moving along, because I know it's a matter of time, right? But if nothing shows it's moving on and you don't have anything converted, that's going to be paused. You're going to be paused, right? Until you can get this up, right? Yeah.
So, it leaves that we do return, is Zillow still expecting a status update?
We're working through that because what's happening is you're returning it, but it's still attached to you through Zillow, right?
Yeah.
So what Steve and I have done in the past is I've actually met with them and I transferred it to Enrique's name. So we would, they're still trying to figure that out. But in the meantime, connect with me and we can go ahead and sit down, spend 15 minutes and just send those over. Yeah, I think it's, again, we definitely can do that.
Yeah. So these will be things that as we go through our sales meetings every week, we're going to start implementing now, right? We're going to restructure our sales meeting to attack these areas that we want to work on, right? Question.
My experience last week, I did get some zero calls, but even when I'm on the phone and I'm just trying to listen to what they are saying, it gets claimed by somebody else. That never used to happen before. Like if I picked up the call, it used to be my lead. I would listen what they have to say and get connected to the buyer or seller. But nowadays, even if I'm on the call, they say, okay, this lead is gone.
Yeah.
Right? But fine.
So was the client already on the line? Or it was, oh, it was about to. Yeah. Okay. So those are questions, guys. I don't want to go too much into the weeds with Zillow right now, right? I just want to give you guys a preview of what we're going to be rolling out. So these are all good questions to bring up because we're meeting with our rep every other week, right? And probably even more than that, right?
If you guys have, so the best thing is to put it, send a message directly to me in Slack. Again, I'll get you guys an answer, whether it's a tech issue or if this is new policy. Again, they are changing some of the rules, even with the view that we got to see today with Enrique showing us. So again, they're making some changes, but again, control what you can do, which is what Enrique is saying is making sure you're answering the phone, claiming the lead, making sure you're moving it through the stages. But if you are having those tech issues or a concern, just send me a DM and I can ask them, what's going on with that, or and see if we can find a solution.
I think on that recording too, Shatal, because it's happened to me a couple of times, and
Yeah.
it does say this will not count against you.
Yes,
We'll send you the next available.
Oh, okay.
We're picking up, and I think what it does, it's going through
Yeah,
the
it's
team.
Yeah.
It says this lead has already been claimed by a team member.
Because what's happening, guys, again, I know we're not gonna spend too much time on what's happening when it calls, it's not just calling, sometimes it's not just calling you. Because if you didn't answer, then it has to call the next person. Now that person that's calling is left on the line. So Zillow's trying to make it quick, so it might ping 3 or 4 of you at the same time trying to connect.
Yeah.
Right? Because they don't want the client waiting online for 20 rings.
But if I claim it even before looking at like what, if it is in Hollister and I can't make it, then what should I do? If I claim it and it's a Hollister, I don't want to service that field. What do I do in that case? And how does it matter?
Well,
on
you
my
shouldn't
end?
claim it. Right? If you're not
But
gonna service, don't claim it.
That's the thing. Even before I understand it's a Hollister or whatever it is, it gets claimed by somebody else. So we are like in a game of fastest.
Yeah, we can also remove some zip codes for certain people. Like if you just know you can't make it that far,
Yeah.
then we're going to fine tune the zip codes also. So that will be also part of this, right? Let's hold the questions for Zillow, guys, because we'll have to have a Zillow session. Right now, it's just the overview. But those things will be fine tuned, right? We'll fine tune some of those zip codes to make sure you're getting opportunity that you can work as well, right? Okay, so really quick, guys, we got like 3 more minutes, guys, and then we're done. So listings, right? We want to get that listing number up, right? 20 to 30 signed this quarter. So we're going to be doing also more training on how to get more listings or how to convert more of the listing leads that we are getting. So there will be more training on listings on our skills training. And then basically the bottom line, guys, is, our full-time agents are the ones driving the business. The goal is simple, right? 3 to 5 deals under contract this quarter is what we're focusing on. If you're part-time, 1 or 2 deals under contract and consistently building your pipeline. How do we execute this, right? And enforce this? So the way we can enforce this, guys, is if you gotten 20 to 30 team leads, right? Between Zillow and ISA appointments and all that stuff, and you still have nothing in contract or nothing that we see as moving through the stage, then we're going to pause you, right? Until you can start working those leads. right? Because at the minimum, for every 20 to 30 leads you get, you should get one deal, right? That's like the very minimum expectation for Zillow, for us, and stuff like that. Otherwise, it makes sense, like we talked about the baseball analogy, to give the ball to a different player that is making the plays happen, right? Agents who consistently miss team meetings and trainings and have no contracts are also going to be paused, right? The most important meeting you should attend, guys, is our sales meeting, because that's when we're always talking about new stuff. That's when we're holding people accountable to their goals, and our skills training, right? The Wednesday one is optional depending on where you're at, but definitely the team meeting, I would say, is number one. And then the Wednesday and Thursday are going to be number two, right? But if you're never here and you're still taking up a bunch of leads and you got nothing in contract, and it's like, okay, we got an issue there, right? If you're here, you got nothing to worry about, right? Just keep showing up. Agents who consistently do not update their statuses. If you have a lot of leads that are just not statused correctly, the stages, you're going to be paused until those are cleaned up, right? So that means pause from Zillow. That means pause from the ISA leads, right? From even the first to claim, right? Stuff like that. Because there's a lot of those going out until you clean up your pipeline, basically, right? Who thinks that's fair, guys? Is that asking too much? Okay. Some of you guys are laughing like, ugh, that's right. Is that, Jesse, is that fair?
It's obvious.
Okay. I just want to make sure. How do we reward agents who are doing this correctly, right? You get more leads and more warm handoffs. We get a lot of warm handoffs. Like I get clients that hit me up directly. Hey, I'm thinking about buying. I'm thinking about selling. And I got to go, who do I give this to? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go look in FUB and go, who is kicking ass based off their FUB stuff? That's who I'm going to give that to, right? That's fair, right? So more leads, more handoffs, more opportunity, recognition weekly, right? We're going to be recognizing the people who are doing a good job, because now we're going to have the metrics up, right? If I pull the scorecard every single week, the ones who are doing well, they're going to get the shout outs, they're going to get the recognition. And then the other people hopefully get FOMO and say, hey, how come my name's not getting called, right? Contests, right? We can reward people by doing contests, by rewarding you on the things that we want you to do. And then obviously higher splits. As you close more deals, your split goes up, right? So we're going to help create that environment where it helps you close more deals, and then you get rewarded by getting higher splits as your production goes up. And so we're going to end with the contest for April, guys, just to start it off. We're already 7 days in, so anything that's in April already counts. So most deals in contract by the end of April, $500. Most listings signed in April, $300. Most calls made in FUB, $150. Most appointments set in FUB, $150. The most posts on social media get $150. And then whoever works the most open houses is going to get $150, just as a little incentive and a little contest, right? And so we're going to start rolling out contests like this every month. It's nothing big, right? But you know, it at least helps gamify. One thing that I like that my son's baseball coach does is he has a Triton, like a little, you know what a Triton is, right? And so after every game, he gives the Triton to somebody, right? And then they also give the game ball. So there's a Triton, and then there's like the game ball. And so I want to start doing something like that at our weekly meetings. Like whoever kicked ass that week, they're going to get like at least the plaque or like the bragging rights, like they got the Triton that week or something, right? You guys think that would be fun? Right? I want to make it fun too, right? It's like we're talking a lot about like implementing accountability, which we got to do that to win. But I also want to make it a fun environment where there's like that fun competitiveness where we're all trying to hit those goals and we're help pushing each other in a fun way. And as a result, your closings are going to go up, your GCI is going to go up, your paychecks are going to go up, you're going to buy a new car, right? Pay off bills, do all this. There's a lot of cars, right? Boats, right? I don't know, guys. I think we have a huge opportunity to like really build off our strengths, but really take this next quarter to another level, right? And so what we need from you guys is we need the buy-in. We need people getting excited about this, right? And we need people to see like when we make changes, it's because we want everybody to win, guys. I do not want to be last place and in our area, right? We want to be first place, right? Who wants to be first place? Right? All right. So we're going to end with that, guys. We got lunch. I know we said a lot. So thanks for hanging in there. But let's just clap it up, guys, with some excitement, guys, for Q2 and where we're going. Who's getting the 500? That's what I want to know. All right. Who's getting the cash? That's what I want to know. Right. Take my money. Who's getting the cash? All right. That's all we got, guys. Thank you so much. We got lunch in the conference room. Let's stick around, have lunch, guys. Let's make it a great week. We're here if you have questions. If you need to talk to us offline, right? We're here, guys. Thank you, guys.